I got to remember where my camera is so that I can see you. Well, hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. I know that there's a few of you just kind of trickling in, so we'll give it a few moments for everybody to see, to witness that the session is live and to come in and say hello. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the comments so I can talk to y'all one-on-one, talk to y'all directly. And while y'all are coming in, before we hop in, I'm just going to light some incense. Hey, Sandrine, and get some, sprays or other smelly goods or what have you. Laura, hi. I'm doing well, you all. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you so much for asking. I'm a little, actually, so in all reality, I'm so good, right? So no worries there. But I'm a little buzzed, like not because I've been drinking, but I've been like amping my energy up a little bit to kind of prepare for this. So I already feel like I'm kind of like a wheel that's spinning a little bit and I'm creating that smoke behind myself. like no joke. I legit feel like there's smoke kind of blowing out the back of my head. And so I guess I'm creating a little bit of that here with my little choice of dangerously flammable incense that I have going on here. I don't know why I love this stuff, and it's so what do you call it? Charcoaly, and so it breaks apart, and that's not always fun when you're trying to light it. Sorry, I'm looking for my tweezers so that I don't burn myself when I go to put it out. So, anywho, it's called responsible. Anywho, oh my goodness, y'all! It's so good to see your faces. Hi, Kia. Oh my goodness. I actually want to know how to pronounce this. It looks like Rihanna or Rihanna, Rihanaf, Rihanna. Maybe. Ivory, hello. I'm glad that you already have your questions coming in. Kara, hi. I love just saying hello to you guys at first. It is so sweet and super cool of you guys to come and hang out with me today. So let me give you like the high level overview of how I like to run these sessions, and then we'll just like go ahead and dive in. I might have a tiny bit of housekeeping that I want to talk about, but we'll deal with it as it comes up. So first things first, recently there's been a wave of spamming that has been occurring. So if, for instance, during this session or any other time that you're connected to this platform, there we go. If you see somebody that is trying to reach out to you to DM you or message you for a reading, please block, ban, and delete that message. I will be doing the same on my side because they are not directly affiliated with me. So yeah, you do the same, and I will do my best to take care of it on my side as well. So if they see you, just block and ban. That's it. We don't even give them another thought. So let's do that. We'll work together. I do have Miss Lori in here. She'll be coming in just a bit if she's not here already. And she's going to help me kind of double team in kind of blocking spammers as they occur here so that I can focus more on you and that she can take care of those spammers for us. I may have to recruit a few of you other sweet souls to also do that job because you guys are on it. You guys let me know all the time. And I appreciate all of y'all so much for that. So yes, we got the spammers covered. The way that I like to conduct these sessions mostly is just like questions and answers. So ask a direct question, we start to dig into direct answers. You might see me shuffling my cards. I do have a standard Rider-Waite-Smith deck that I love to use for this process, but I'm using it as kind of a meditative tool. And I may not actually pull a card, but I'm pulling information out of wherever the information lands. So I'm pulling information and stuff is coming for me. And that's the stuff that I'll be sharing as part of your reading. If a card happens to hop out of the deck and it looks significant to what we're talking about, maybe I'll totally share it with you. Or if you're specific that you want a card, let me know, throw that into the comments too. And I have no problems, just like, all right, cards first and all that fun and games. So you guys, my biggest goal ever is to help you all connect to your guides, your guardians, and your ancestors, and basically any other member of your spirit team to kind of help us answer the questions that are going on for you. So if that happens to be life questions, if it happens to be like, what is my aunt who passed away 6 years ago think of the situation? Let's find out. Let's get inquisitive and explore. And as a mild experiment, what I want you sweet souls to do with me, since you can hear my voice, is briefly take a second to like inhale, exhale, just to kind of get yourself settled and ready for this. But also internally, like say to yourself something along the lines, I give Abby permission to read me clearly. Like give me that permission to read you clearly, because that little intention, I feel like opens the doors to let me connect with what you're looking for. Let me dig into what's happening for you and let me feel around for what's happening, essentially. So I'll just say it one more time. I give Abby permission to read me clearly. Got it? Sweet soul. All right, sweet peas. So while you are getting your questions together, y'all are probably going to be typing it into the comments here now. Do me a favor, go ahead and copy that question so that you can paste it should we, when I ask again, because what I'll be doing, I'll be going through everything to kind of read and say hello to you. And then I'll get to the bottom and then I'll ask for your question. And then I'm going to take the next one I see because I want to read for you if you're here. I don't want to read for people who aren't here because it's like, oh, let's see at those. You know, maybe she'll come get it later. Who knows? So that's what we'll be doing. If you have any questions about me or my practice or my business or how I do what I do, throw those into. I do not mind. So while you're working on your questions, let me get some oil because that's what I want on my hands. Goodness, I hope this holiday season is treating you well. I hope you're doing your meaningful gift giving and remembrance and all that fun stuff. Ooh, I have my tea over here. I need to have some of that too before we get started. That'll be fun. Oh, I still feel like I got the steam going on the back of my head. All right, I do want to say hello to like Miss Deborah. Hi, Xavier. Hi, Jamie. Oh my gosh, you ladies, y'all are so sweet. I know, Deborah, them spammers, they're intense, but we're getting, like, it's a process. And as I always say, there's charlatans in every industry. So it's just their practice, just their ethics. We don't have to participate, right? So this is how we do this. Kara, hello, hello. Oh my goodness. I love that you guys are here. Ebony, Candace, girl, you and I are going to be like homies. It's like every time I come up, you're here too. I love that. I love that. I love that. Oh my goodness. I love that you have the questions. Shantae, Kia, sweet. All right, sweet souls. I'm going to hop into here just to make sure that we all have a no. There we go. We all have the no. I'm going to sip my tea. Go ahead and throw your question in. And I'm going to take the next one I grab. So then we'll just start there and we'll get running. I plan to do this for about an hour. I may run over a little bit, but I have a hard stop because I have a client session after. So, you know, I have to go make myself available. Okay. Kia, I love it. You're the first one I spotted. So we'll go with that. And Sandrine, I saw your word basic. Don't worry about basic, honey. We love it. All right, Kia, let's see what's going on. You really want to move to Charlotte. Will that be in your best interest, hun bunch? Let's see what shows up for us. Oh, also, I always like to make a point. If you'd love to share this session, or if you'd like to share this post, this link, please do so meaningfully. I always love it when I hear like somebody tagged me in this and I actually got something out of it. I love those messages. Those are my favorite kinds because I feel like it kind of spreads the meaning, the impact, the value of the work when we share meaningfully. So if you want to do that, please feel free. It's not obligatory. No one's telling you must do it to get a read. Not at all. Not at all. All right, Miss Kia. You really want to move to Charlotte. Will that be good for you? Will that be good for you? You really want to move to Charlotte. I'm feeling like twofold with that. So the first bit that I got was this element of stretching your legs a little bit, like it gives you a little bit more freedom than perceived freedom than where you're at right now. But it's not what is it? Sorry, I interrupted myself because I felt like you were not literally chasing something, but there was something that you were following or that you thought was there and that you would find once you got there. So hypothetically, say for instance, you feel like you're going to feel better when you move to Charlotte. Understand that you can feel better in advance so that when you move to Charlotte, you already feel better when you land. So it's like, look, I would make a point to double check what your feelings and your motives and the motivations and the things like that are before you relocate, just so that you have realistic expectations once you land there. Because I've heard so many stories of like, my problems came with me. Yeah. That's what happens sometimes. But it's all good, hun. So let's see if there's anything else that we need to know about you moving to Charlotte. Anything else that you need to know about moving to Charlotte? It feels really ambivalent. So it's not like it's bad. It's not like it's good. It's a good practice. It's a good experience. It feels like it has its value for you, but I don't feel like don't do it. I don't feel like, yeah, go fly. It feels like, if you want to, go in, huh? The cards that showed up for me was the 6 of Cups that hopped out for me. So I'm wondering if you might actually have some past work there. Oh, you just really want to move out of Philly? Understood completely. You just want to move out of Philly. What is, I'm wondering, because usually when this card shows up for me, it often talks about maybe like past connections there, past life connections there sometimes. Sometimes you can have family in the area. So I'm wondering like, what pulls you to, maybe I can dig into that. What is pulling you to North Carolina? I'm sure, let's see, what's pulling you to North Carolina? It does legit feel like I just want to. Kind of like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. When you look at it, you just want it. Like you just really want to go. Um, okay. So again, I feel like the need to clarify, making sure you're checking your reasons for leaving. So I love that you made it clear that you just want to leave Philly. Understood. Why do you want to leave Philly? Understand that so that when you relocate, you know that you're not accidentally getting yourself into the same situation you did before. Are you leaving people? Are you leaving situations? Are you leaving your own frustrated feelings? Are you leaving the block in which you live on? There's lots of ways to execute the same plan, sometimes without as dramatic of a move. So just to check, just to check. But ultimately, is it good for you or bad for you? It's very like midline. It's really neither is what I'm getting out of it, if that makes sense. Oh, you did say you have some family there. So you like the South, but you don't want to move back to Atlanta. Understood, honey. I'm from the South originally, and my heart is still there, but I wouldn't want to move back to like my home state. Like, well, I would, but north part of my home state. I'm from Arkansas originally, so no shame on an Arkansas, but you know, when you're raised there and you look like me, it gets interesting. But it's all good. But thank you, Kia, so much for that question. I hope that made sense. I hope that landed for you. So please feel free to go ahead and throw your questions in. I hope to pull another question for you. Let's see. I love that they're just flying in here, flying in here. There we go. If you're, aw, I just want to know what messages you have for you. All right, Miss Ebony. Miss Ebony, Miss Ebony, Miss Ebony. Let's see. Miss Ebony. The first feeling I got around you, hun, is this need to be careful and cautious with yourself. Kind of like if, for instance, I was like if I could squeeze you down to like this size, right? This size, and kind of hold you here, and then kind of wrap around you and just kind of hold on and make sure that you're okay. Like I feel like I needed like to just wrap you up and care for you a bit and kind of wrap you in some feel goods and wrap you in some warm hugs and blankets and whatever else that brings comfort, because I feel like it's unique to you. Whatever brings comfort. For me, it's water. Like water and me are like two peas in a pod. Surprisingly, I'm a fire sign, but I love water. What else is in here? What's going on with Miss Ebony? Because everything that I'm feeling at the moment is not so much like a message of wisdom or words of advice or what you need to do kind of thing. It's more of this feeling of care and support and kindness and being kind to yourself. So to me, it's all about like the language that you use towards yourself. I would look at that. I would think about what you're saying to yourself about yourself, because I feel like you're because I feel like, for instance, if I was your grandmother, for instance, and somebody else was talking badly to my baby, then I would be fussing at that person who's talking badly to my baby. However, it's you, so I'm fussing at you for talking badly to my baby. Like, that's my baby over there. You need to like be nicer to her. Is the feel, and it just still feels like that ramp, that wrapping comfort and that wrapping support there. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much for letting me know, Sandrine. I think our Lori is here. If she's here, I'm pretty sure she'll take care of it for us, and if not, then please feel free to block and ban that person, and I will do the same. But I did promise Lori I'd let her try to tackle it first, so it's all good. Does that make sense, Miss Ebony? I want to make sure that that feeling, because it's not even so much a message, but it's more of the feeling got to you. I wanted to make sure that you got that, so you got what was said. Aw. Thank you so much. Because if I could give you hugs, I totally would. I totally would give you hugs. Totally would give you hugs and blankets and support and what have you. But yeah. All right, sweet souls. Go ahead and throw in your questions, and I'll grab the next one that comes up. Me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, darling. Here we go, Xavier. Hey, sir, you've been repping for a long time, hun. I wish I could give you tons of big hugs. So you want to know what's next for your career in 2022. Let's see what shows up for you, hun bunch. What's next for Xavier's career? You know what, low-key, I feel like Xavier wants some cards. Like there's an element. It's like, nope, I want to know what the cards say. And it's all good. Let's see. That's one. What will your career look like in 2022? Two. Oh my goodness. I remember why I miss reading for you, because you have such a vibrancy to you, my dear. And you have such a fun life. Like if I could be a fly on your wall, I would probably be shocked, appalled, and I would laugh hilariously all the time, all the time. So what is your situation for 2022? So hun bunch, first card that showed up for you was the devil. What you doing, sir? Anywho, we also got the high priestess, but then we landed on the 2 of Pentacles. So for me, my thought for you for 2022 is that you're going to have the opportunity to choose here. So what's your next career move for 2022? It's whatever you decide to make it. So something that I would love for you to do is actually decide, choose, maybe outline what you're looking for in your career path, and then start to make sure that you are cutting out things that don't directly align to it or support it, and just keep that as your North Star. Because I know that you have a few ideas for what you want to be or what you want to do, but I'm almost certain that there's some things that kind of sneak in and kind of distract you and kind of pull your attention from where your focus is. That kind of, you know, it feels like a hook, like, you know, when something gets its hooks in you and you get distracted for a second. It almost feels like when, for instance, we have our dreams, we have our ambitions, and we're going, and then we get into a relationship. And then we're all wrapped up and smitten in that relationship, because that's actually what we're wanting, is the love, affection, admiration that that relationship gives us. And then we kind of forget about this big old goal that we had. And then the relationship goes away because it's not self-sustaining. And then we're like, but I wanted something. What was it? Oh yeah, I wanted to go for that. Okay, so we go back to it. So that's kind of the whole thing that I was like mulling through while when I was reading for your situation. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that lands for you in some way, shape, or form, because I feel like your next move is whatever you make it to be. It's not like something that's just here and you have to go get it. It's like you have to decide and then go towards it, if that makes sense. Do you understand the distinction between the two? Because if not, I will totally spell that out again. I have no problems whatsoever doing that for you, Xavier, but totally let me know if that makes sense, because it feels as ambitious as you want to make it. And I love that you just have that open space of opportunity available to you. Like there's no restrictions in that regard. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, Sweet Pea. You will journal everything out? Heck yeah. But also, even with your journaling, like journal in reverse, okay? And by that, I mean, take your wildest dream, right, for yourself, the biggest dream that you could possibly muster for yourself. Put that out in your journal, like top, square, and center, right? Okay, so we're gonna pretend. Lesson. Okay, so top, square, and center, your dream. I'm gonna need a Sharpie for this next time. So you're writing your dream there, okay? And then maybe see or think about, in 10 years, what would your life look like as you're approaching your dream, right? And then do the same as 5 years. What does your life look like, or the things that you'll be doing that will help you approach that 10-year mark and that dream year mark? So for instance, if you're like, if part of your dreams is to have a Netflix special, right? So you learn in 10 years, or you think about in 10 years, you need such and such social following. All right, so in 5 years, you're going to be at what level? Is it going to be like 10K or 10 million followers or something? Like, basically, I'm having you reverse engineer the big ass dream that you have. So this is a little bit more approachable and in bite-sized pieces that you can approach, and I already said a word approach, that you can like direct yourself to. I hope that makes sense. So 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, and then you start making action steps. Just make sure everything is measurable. So don't say I just want more something. Say I want this quantity of something. I want that blah 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 a thing. I'm going to create such and such, instead of just I want less of or more of. Okay, so be specific, be clear, because that's how you're going to actually hit your North Star. Dear sir, I hope that makes sense, Xavier. I hope that makes sense. And again, totally let me know. Modeling, career, and acting. See, there you go. So wildest dream, write that out. Like make something for that and head in. Oh my goodness, I love all these comments that you got going in. Sweet. All right. So yes, please feel free to go ahead and throw in your questions. And I know that you already are doing it. Sandrine, you're kind of taking over, hun. There we go. Only because I love you, hun. Only because I love you. Can you pick up your deceased bunny, cousin, uncle, if any have a message for you? Okay, let's see what shows up for us. It's I love that it's either your bunny, your cousin, or your uncle. So let me see what shows up for you. I'll just kind of describe what I'm getting and see if that lines up for you in any way, shape, or form. And if not, then that's totally okay too. So give me a moment. Let me kind of sketch this through as I'm lining up for it. You laugh. I love it. All right. Sandrine. Who wants to step forward for Sandrine? Sandrine. You know, the first visuals I got was somebody wearing a bandana. And it feels like a person wearing a bandana, but it almost feels like a woman wearing like a bandana. And I say bandana because it reminds me of, like, for instance, wearing the scarf over the hair to kind of keep the hair covered while you're mass cleaning the house. But it also kind of, in the same instance, also reminded me of someone wearing a bandana because they put like a helmet over their head when they ride motorcycle or something. So it was just like I got two I got two like visuals at the same time regarding it. So I'm like, let's clarify what's going on here. What's this up for Sandrine? So the feeling I'm getting is something nibbling at my toes. So I'm almost wondering if the rabbit is actually showing up, because to me it's where the ground level would be, and then this very soft, quiet like approach, and then like nosing, but specifically on your toes. Oops. What else? What else? What else you got for me? Because the first words I got was like a white flop ear, so I'm assuming this is in relation to your bunny. Did you put like, did you put a bow or a bandana on your bunny? I'm gonna die laughing if you did. Oh my goodness. Wait, is she bit your toes? So cutie. Does she have a message for you? Okay, so when it comes to reading animals, the feeling I get from animals is not so much words, but it's a feeling, because they don't speak English per se. So the feeling that I was getting from her was like this sounds ridiculous to me, but I hope it makes sense to you. But I feel like she's reminding you to keep your hands warm. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. Oh, you did put a scarf on her before she died? Oh, okay. But she's like literally like reminding me to like, okay, so the feeling I'm getting is like when you have I refer to like my cat. My cat's really warm. And so when my hands are cold, I kind of put my hands under her belly, under it's a him, and my hands are warm. And so the feeling that I was getting is like this reminder to keep your hands warm, if that makes sense. I used to always rub her paws. Oh, very cute. Does she have a message? So I keep seeing or it's a mixture of seeing and feeling the chewing on a like the little bunny chew on. I mean, carrots are easy, right? But it's like something loud and rigid. So I'm assuming it's a carrot. But in the same instance of eating, it's kind of like this thought that's going through her mind about you moving too fast or being too fast. Something about needing to actually slow down, which is ironic that she's a rabbit. But yeah, it's just like you're so busy all the time is kind of the feel that it gets. So it's like figure out a way to be like the not the turtle so much in the like the fable per se, but a little bit more chill like she was. Because she's just giving me feelings of that stillness that you probably have had when you got on the floor with her. And you just kind of like zone into your rabbit and you just kind of like, you're my little animal. Aw. So she's just giving me like those little feels. And that feeling of quieting down just to be close to her is kind of really sweet and freaking endearing. Would you say? Probably the cardboard box. She was chewing on the cardboard box. It must have tasted like food because I feel like she liked the feeling of it as it like was making noise because I was hearing the noise. Does that make sense? Any other information from Miss Sandrine? The only other feeling I'm getting off of the rabbit is just kind of like leaving a space for her or leaving a place for her. I don't know if she was the type of rabbit that would sit like directly beside you, but that was like the feeling of that she kind of gave me was the picture of just kind of like leaning right beside like your thigh, for instance, on your what is this, your right hand side, and then just kind of like nestled in. Anything else? Yeah, it doesn't feel like any like life altering wisdoms out of her. It's just the calmness and stillness that just feels super sweet. So she just feels sweet for days. It's basically what I got. I hope that makes sense. I was hoping we could get like a little something more profound out of a rabbit. That'd be very cool. But she just feels chill. It's like she is already a walking little blessing. So there's nothing more that she needs to be because she's already amazing in herself. So I dig that. I absolutely dig that. So it's awesome. Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Sandrine. And if you have more questions, please feel free to throw them in. If you guys have questions, go ahead and throw them into the comments now. I'll basically just pull the next one that I see or that I feel pulled to, and we'll just keep it moving. We'll keep it moving. I do have to do the quick, oh, you're very welcome, Sweet Pea. I do have to do the quick shameless plug. You guys know where you can reach me if you're ever interested in getting work done with me. You can visit me directly on my website, either here in Facebook or the actual website. I have gotten it set up just recently where you can do gift card services as like a gift for this holiday season. So if you have a friend or a family member that you think we get a kick out of that, that might be a nice useful way to do maybe a last minute bit of shopping or that, white elephant gift that person always has everything. Well, they don't have a one of me. That is something that we can probably say. Gotcha. Sweet. So let me hop back into the comments. I'll go ahead and turn that off. There we go. Yay! You guys got your questions going. Dude, I love this. I love working with y'all. All right, Miss Kate. Can you get some guidance on your financial energy? Can you get some guidance on your financial energy? Let's see. The first bit that I'm getting, I love that you're approaching your financial livelihood as though energy first. I feel like that helps you manage the relationship that you have with it, but I still feel like you're a little bit wonkadoo with it. And when I say wonkadoo, it's like almost like that love-hate relationship. Like you like money, but you like spending it, for instance. And does that mean you actually like money when every time you receive money, you give it away, essentially, kind of thing? I wonder if that subtlety makes sense. It makes sense at all. Because everything that I'm feeling is reminding me to help you get a little bit more practical with the nuts and bolts of your financial well-being. So I would almost even like recommend like or suggest the invitation is upping your financial literacy, like your education surrounding money, not just the energetic component. Because yes, the energy is a big part of it, but we also got to look at the education surrounding it. Your gosh, sorry, I had 19 words show up all at the same time because it reminded me of that saying is that your current financial status is maxed out at your level of education, not like school education, but financial education. So if you feel like you are wonky in some aspect of your financial life, then it might be worth it to go ahead and break that apart a bit and understand it a little bit more intimately or a little bit more clearly. And there's a million strategies available to do it. So there's not just any one, but Dave Ramsey has a million, Tony Robbins has some, hell, even Iyanla has some strategies surrounding money that's very, very useful. What is it? Susie Orman is another wonderful money person that's really good for helping people, especially women, understanding their value and worth when it comes to money. So it's just finding someone that resonates with you and kind of leveling up your financial education a little bit. I feel like that might be really, really useful for you because your money is not just about what you pull in and what you attract in per se, but it's also what you do with it while you have it, where you, does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Hi, Miss Sandra. I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, totally let me know. And I have no problem splitting that apart more for us. But let's see if there's anything else in there for you. Financial energy. Okay, so one of the big flags that I feel like I'm getting is that I really, really wish that if I could leave anything with you guys, it's a shift in perspective about debt. Like, I wish debt was not so normalized for us or even sold to us as something that is useful, meaningful, and valuable for us. And I think looking at our relationships with debt might be very beneficial to kind of help us get out of it. Because honestly, that stuff kind of yanks you around by the chain, and it gets overwhelming and it gets threatening on occasions, and it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be dealt with. So I hope that makes sense on both ends of that, because I know we went to financial literacy and then also our relationship with debt, but and then back to, I wish debt was not so normalized, because that's like the recurring pinpoint that I keep getting a little dink on, is debt should not be normal, for instance. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, Sweet Pea. Oh, you did. Okay, there we go. Absolutely agree. We should always share the values of what we can offer instead of only monetary aspects. Education always helps us master our expertise. Well said, my dear. Well said. Oh, you're very welcome, dearest. Thank you so much. If you have a question, my dear sweet souls, please feel free to go ahead and throw that in. We'll pull another question because it's fun. Because it's fun for days. I read that's an excellent question, Hun Bunch. Will 22 be a good year for you? The funny thing is, the first thing I got is if you decide that it will be. Because good is subjective, right? It does not matter what happens in your life. You can lose your job and it still be a great year. That can be a transformative year for you. So if you want it to be a good year, you have to decide first that it's going to be, and then look at it from that lens. Like, what can you choose to focus on that will make 22 a good year? What does it being a good year mean to you? Maybe spell that out. Maybe like, ooh, have you done any like forward planning for 22 yet? Because I mean, it's not too late. It's never too late to plan your life, right? But since we like to do this at the beginning of the year or kind of end of the year into the year, Maybe figure out, first of all, what would make 22 a good year for you. And then kind of that same way that I was talking to Xavier about plotting out your biggest dream and then kind of reverse engineering it. That's something that's totally doable for you. And it makes your biggest dream into bite-sized chunks that are easily accessible and within reach. So I'm wondering if that might be something that might be useful even on your side. Yeah, because to me, it feels like it's within choice, because every time I'm hopping into it, it's choice. It comes back down to choice and choosing to have a good year, because it does not matter the events that happen in your life. If you choose to look at it positively or negatively, that'll be your experience. It does not matter if you win $1 million. If you look at it negatively, that was a shit year for you. If you look at that $10 win as a great thing, that was the highlight of your, afternoon, your evening, your month, your year, then hell, it was a great year for you. So shifting that perspective, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, Ivory, totally let me know and I'll break that apart some more for us. So no worries there. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Kiara, you have a question too? Any messages from your guides? So let's see if you have any guides or guardians or ancestors that'd like to talk to you, darling. Any messages from Miss Kiara? The visual I'm getting is when we're wearing clothes that are either too small, too worn, or too old, and getting back into shoes that are too small out of habits. The habits that we do over and over again. And okay, so invitation for you, Sweet Pea, is looking at the things that you do on repeat over and over again and actually decide if they're useful for you. Kind of think your way through them. Are they valuable? Are they meaningful? Do they bring joy to your life, or do they take away from it? Like, what are you doing that on repeat that is just habit, versus what you're doing, what's the word? Meaningfully, cognitively, deliberately, all those words. Does that make sense? Does that distinction make sense? So I know it's a subtlety, but I feel like it's worth mentioning, because it's something about the things that you do on repeat that you do out of habit or think out of habit that are not necessarily self-serving. I feel like I got mic dropped. It does. Okay, groovy. Thank you so much for that, Sweetie. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Should I change my whole menu for my business and come up with new ideas? Ooh, Tony. Let's see. What's up with Tony? Oops. Oh, I threw some cards. Hold on. Let me actually pick them up. We're going to read these for you, Tony. All right. So first one, second one, third one, fourth one. Okay. So should we change your menu? First card is the Four of Cups. I feel like you're bored. Ace of Pentacles, so you're inspired. You got some movement under your butt. I got the King of Wands, excuse me, and then the Six of Swords. So, Hun Bunch, I wouldn't even, okay, so my words are escaping me today. It's just today. So, I feel like you like to do this sweeping action and then creating new, and then looking at that new and judging it for, is it taking off like $1 million, or is it slow and sluggish and no one's like paying attention? Like that judgment that's attached to it. So the idea that came to mind is to not necessarily sweep everything, but focus your menu, maybe to the primary elements of your, I don't know if it's service menu or food menu. Like, I don't know what you're working on, but focus it down to the things that are the best received of your services or of your business, and double down on how you can make those even better. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because I feel like that could be really, really useful for your business. Because even if it's like, for instance, if it's food and you make bomb ass 8 dishes, those are the best 8 dishes that are going to be in your radius. That's amazing. You don't need a 500 menu item food menu. You don't need a 500 menu item food menu, but you can break it down to these bomb ass dishes right here, and the people that show up will know exactly what they're ordering, knowing exactly what you get. It will also refine the speed of your food when it's a smaller menu to contend with. So make that experience fucking amazing. Watch, you already have like 6 items, and I just said 8. If that makes sense. Because I feel like you don't necessarily have to wipe your menu, but it's just clearing out the fluff that we thought was a good idea and focusing on the few things that are fucking amazing. And I'm using that term literally, that are amazing, and double down on the experience of those. And I feel like you doing that gives you an element of refinement, and you can actually start making more money that way, I feel like. Also, I'm not a food person, so definitely talk to a food person in addition. But that was the information I got. I hope that helps. You're clearing it out. Got you. You're very welcome, sweetie. You're very welcome. All right, you sweet souls. Sweet souls. So we're at 40 minutes. Sweet. Whatever you're interested in me pulling cards on, or chatting with our guides, our guardians, our ancestors, whatever it happens to maybe, please feel free to go ahead and throw your question into the comments, and we'll dig in. We'll dig in. Yeah? Ooh, Mindy, that's an interesting question. Laurie, hi, Helen. You wanted to know how your guides feel about your current relationship. Any messages from your aunt or your grandmother? Okay, Mindy, your aunt or your grandmother? Tell you what, pick one, and let's see if we can pull that name in, pull that person in. If you'll give me a name of either your aunt or your grandmother, let me know which one you're looking for. We'll start there. You never got the notice I was lying, Lori? I forgive you, darling. Next time I'll send you the link. See, you and I will get this. We'll get this worked down. All right, your Aunt Debbie. Sweet. Your Aunt Debbie. Tell me about yourself. Let's see if we can get your Aunt Debbie in here. The one thing, and the first thing that I'm feeling from your aunt is the feeling of you being a little kid. So I don't know if she still thinks of you as little, or if maybe that was when she passes when you were little, but she's giving you in the perspective of when you were youngin'. Like she's giving me you as a pint-sized kind of young person. Oh, Rob, Lori, can you take care of that one for me, please? Thank you. What else with Miss Debbie? Debbie. And she's giving me the visual of like a mixed bag of her being like your big sister, but also her being your aunt. She was it's like the fun mom, but not a mom. Like it was very the fun, because she's also giving me kind of like this almost sleepover kind of vibe where you guys are like painting each other's nails. Like that was the feeling that she was giving me. Mindy. And please feel free to let me know if I'm either like on the mark or way left field, because that'll help me kind of understand where I'm landing for you, hun. No, Debbie. She's bringing up chocolate for me, so it kind of gave me, and the reason that I laughed is that it almost went like I get weird for chocolate kind of thing, or it's like I'll do something like I'm a little excited when chocolate shows up kind of thing. So it was just really cute when she shared that feeling of like, dude, me and chocolate, whoa. She did that. Wonderful, wonderful. Is there anything else in here, Miss Debbie? She's reminding me about piercing your ears, or somebody getting their ears pierced. Like she feels like she was the one that took you to get your ears pierced or something like that. It was kind of the feel that it came off as. Dude, like I legit feel like this woman wanted to like run away with you. Like you were her little like teammate, little partner in crime, and she totally would have been the aunt that would have gotten you your first drink. Like she's that aunt is the feel that I got off of it. She went with you? Aw, that's very sweet. I'm glad she did. Dude, if she got you your first drink, I'm totally need to tell your mom. Because to me, it just feels like you two had that relationship. Like you told her your secrets, you told her the stuff that you did that would have gotten you in trouble, like that kind of vibe, right? If that makes sense. Anywho, your main question was, what does she feel about your relationship? Oh, she was like your mom. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure I got your original question correct. Want to know about your current relationship. Okay. She was. I love it. I love it. All right, Debbie. The funny thing was, I said Debbie out loud and she gave me the clarity. It's like only the kids called me Debbie. You can call me Deborah. It's kind of like where it felt like I can be a little more formal with her. The kids could call her Debbie. Okay. Just the feelings I had to share. All right, let's see. Who's Deborah? What do you feel of her relationship? So she gave me the feeling of quote unquote old news, if that makes sense. So I want to see like what she means by old news. The first words I heard is that you've done this before. So is this like a repeat thing that you've been doing? Like this relationship, you've done it a couple times, or is this like the same type of person that you're attracted to? So why would she say it's old news? I'm just jotting down what she's kind of not saying, but the feel. Okay. You'll totally have to let me know because now I'm curious. Now I'm curious. Same type. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, she's totally thinking, or the feeling that she's giving me is that you've been there before. So it's like you already kind of know the end of the story. So to me, she's giving me like a snooze fest kind of thing. What do you think she should do? So this is the feeling that she's giving me. I'm legit asking your aunt, like, what does she feel like you should do? Ah, I see, I see, I see. Darling face. So the feeling that she's giving me was along the lines of actually, I'm asking her to repeat herself so that I get it right the first time. What do you want her to know? So this sounds weird to me, but the way that she's giving it to me is that you have the ability to control yourself. You don't need another person controlling you, kind of thing. It's like no, 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 no. Is the way it's like circling in. But it's not anything new. It's not anything you don't know. I feel like she understands that you would probably, or she would want something a little bit more interesting for you, but that it's not her place per se to say, hypothetically, you should leave him so that you can be with somebody else. Like that's not her role, but she knows like you'd probably love for her to say that kind of thing. Because she's telling me like, or she's making me feel like it's your own lessons, your own thing you have to go through. Obviously you didn't get it the first or eighth time, and this is what you need to do to either get what you needed out of it or remember what you forgot to begin with. Let's see, what did you think she forgot? So since she brought up the term forgot, I'm asking, what did she feel like she forgot? What do you feel like she forgot to begin with? Um, and what she gave back was that you're amazing exactly as you are, and that you don't need to prove your amazingness to people who don't get it to begin with. Does that make sense? Let's see. Because she feels like you're a rock star. And she feels like everyone should think you're a rock star. Anybody who doesn't think you're a rock star doesn't need to be around you. But she's biased is kind of the way that she's thinking about it. And she's bringing up something about shoes, like rock star shoes or something. Aw, good. Good, good, good. What else, Auntie? She keeps giving me like visuals of Doc Marten boots that are a little bit like bedazzled or jeweled in some sort of way, and like legit rock star boots. If that makes sense. You sell shoes? Very cool, dude. Can you find like, because I feel like she's trying to like I know I'm accidentally slowing her down, so I'm trying to like give it at the same time in which it's showing up. But the theme that I'm getting is figuring out every way possible for you to remember your your inner rock star. And I keep going rock star because for me it's my inner Beyonce. Like when I want to feel like $1,000,000, like I'm watching that energy. I'm watching that behavior, that woman empowered, that feeling like $1,000,000. And the songs that she plays that I just I get into my ego and I love it so much. It's like, what is it, Bow Down is one of them for me. I might have to just like drop those into the comments one of these times so y'all can see that on the side. But there's a few other tracks. It's just that self-empowered cockiness. Like it is okay to get into your own your own empowered ego, because there's I don't know, subtle opinion. We like to turn the word ego into a negative thing, and I think in some instances it can be, but when you're missing it, it is the thing that you need. It is the thing that you need. What is it? You've gained some weight and you're self-conscious, and he keeps trying to get me to go to the gym, so that makes sense. I get it. I would probably even say thank you. I appreciate that. Um, oh, sorry. Let me deal with this very briefly. I love that you're from the UK. No, you're not invisible, honey. I'm just not picking you as of yet. So I'm not being ignored. So just to show you, no, honey, you're not being ignored. I just choose as I feel called. I choose as I feel chosen to. I choose as I see fit. Does that make sense? So no, I'm not deliberately ignoring you, hun bunch. But to finish up with my dear sweet pea, I understand the whole like trying to get you to go to the gym or trying to help you um that try to help you kind of thing that he's trying to do. But I feel like that's more your responsibility, and sometimes his well-meaningness is ill-placed, if that makes sense. And understandably, at this moment, it's probably harder to speak up for that and to be like, shh, to your person because he's your person. But this is your journey and your thing, and it's better to come at your weight loss from an empowered perspective instead of the self-loathing, I'm doing this for somebody else perspective, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Yay. Wonderful. Sweet pea. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Cool. I hope that makes sense. um I think we're gonna let it stand there with your Aunt Debbie, because I feel like she's just chatty enough that she could talk to us for days. So it would be totally it would be totally fun to continue chatting with her, but then we'll never get anything done. But it's all good. It's all good. And you're very welcome. You're very welcome, hon. So we have some more time. We have a few more polls that I can do. So if you have a question, please feel free to go ahead and throw it into the comments, and we'll see what we got. Ooh. Yeah, Sandra, just throw in your specific question. I don't mind reading. I just love to have a specific question that we're going to be touching on, so I know exactly what we're looking for. That's all that we're doing. So yeah, go ahead and throw it in. Let's see if we can get it before we hop out, because I want to read for as many people as I can. How do you get a session with me? Sweet, you can book directly on my website. Let me see if I can send it here as well. AV Tarot Reading.com. Did it go? Did it go? There we go. Perfect. It's in the comments. It's also attached to the post. And also, I believe it's in the posting that this live is linked to. So that's another way that you can book a one-on-one if you so choose. So yeah. Yeah. So I know, oh, there we go. Will you move and get a new career next year? Woo. Will you move and get a new career next year? I feel like you have a strong desire with your career to shift that moving locations feels harder. And honestly, you still have a lot of choice here. So it's really up to you as to how you want to approach this or go about it. But as of right now, it feels like you have more momentum behind you. You have more motivation behind you to switch up your jobs. So it might be worth it to start there first. And then once you've gotten that thing situated, then adjusting where you're living at that point in time so that maybe you can move closer to the new job, or, you know, all those little nuances that come into play with that. But will you? It's more of, do you want to? And if you want to, then you will create the circumstances around you so that you can. All right. So I know so many people, for instance, when they get inspired to lose weight, they want to know, am I going to lose weight in 2022? Do it. Then you will. But if you don't, because you're kind of half pregnant with it, then you won't. So it's like that kind of situation. It's very much choice based. And as of right now, it seems like you're very much motivated on the work one, a little less so on the move. But if you decide that, you know what, fuck that noise, I'm doubling down, I'm moving tomorrow, I'm getting a new job, or I'm quitting this one today, you know, you could do it. I don't recommend it, but you totally could do it. I feel your motivation. I question or wonder about your remembering it's a choice and that you can choose to move, you can choose to find a new job, or do the process that gets you a new job, if that makes sense. But if that's what you want to do in 2022, honey, do it. Grab it by the horns and do it. If that makes sense. Oh, you want to? Perfect. Perfect. Let's go ahead and Lori, my dear sweet pea, can you take care of this one? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Wonderful. Yeah, we got spammers, you guys. You're very welcome, Miss Sandra. And with all the spammers, like, you know, we can't, I'm learning how to block them through different situations. So like when we do the lives, will you go to KFC tomorrow? I love that question. I hope you do. And if you do, please get me some chicken too and send it my way. No, but when it comes to the spammers, there's spammers everywhere. There's people who are looking to work on the coattails of others everywhere you go. It's just kind of the way stuff works. And so what we need to do is just basically understand that I am not affiliated with anybody that comes up and says like, hey, can we get a DM or whatnot now? I'm trying to make sure Lori gets those. That we're not affiliated with them. And that if you do decide to get a session with them, I'm not going to be able to vouch for their work or their ethics or their processes or anything of that nature. And I just want to make sure that you are being safe and you're being and you're getting the work done that you need, even if it's not from me, you know? So that's where I like to leave it. And then we do what we can to block, ban, and delete. So give me 2 seconds. Block. There we go. Sweet. All right. Kiera, let's see. How to increase your talent, your psychic talent. Let's see. Let's see what shows up for me, for you regarding that. How to increase your talent. So first thing, your psychic intuition talent or skill set, understand that first and foremost, yes, there's an element of gift to it, but there's also an element of art. And with every art, we have to practice our art to get skilled and get refined at it. It took Beyonce 10 years before she became Beyonce. It takes, you know, people who draw usually draw so well because they practice all the time. So one of the things, oh, you're fine, Lori, thank you. One of the ways that you can increase your skill set is by practicing your skill set, and practice a mode or a method that works for you, that you really are pulled to. I had some intuitive talent on my own before I got invested into tarot. And then once I got into tarot, I got obsessed. So I got obsessed with the community. I got obsessed with the process. I got obsessed with doing the work. And that obsession keeps you practicing. It keeps you refining your skill set and turns into a blade that must be honed. So increasing your skill set. There's going to be so many resources available everywhere. But the main thing they all talk about is practice. You have to figure out a way to practice. And if it's in a Facebook community, if it's with other friends, if it's with something a little bit more structured and you go to a class or a school or a workshop, it does not matter the method. Practice, find a way to practice, find a way to practice, find a way to practice. Make sense? I hope so, Sweet Pea. I hope so. There we go. Oh, you're very welcome, hon. Let's do a couple more before I have to go do my client. So this is like fun. I do have a client session coming up. Oh, Damon, I'm glad that you like these sessions. Thank you, hun. Let's see. So Laura has a question. If I could bring in her mom and see if she has any messages for me or my daughter. You miss her so much. Her name is Betty Jane. Betty Jane. All right, Betty Jane. Betty Jane. Okay. Betty Jane. Sorry, what I'm doing right now is kind of like a hand tactile sketching process that I like to do when I'm kind of trying to pull in someone that we're going to be chatting with. It's literally doodles, but the process feels really good to my brain when we're doing that, so I follow it. One of these days I'll have a camera set up so you can see what I'm doodling. Betty Jane's your mother. Did your mother, was she a smoker by chance? Because like the first two things I've gotten off of her name was like being in the smoking section or smoking. Something about cooking. Let's see, I'm trying to keep an eye on your comments, my dear Laura. No, she's giving me visuals of her in the kitchen. Like that was, I mean, I don't know if that was her favorite place, but if that's where she spent a lot of time. What else is Betty Jane? The visual. No, she hated smoke. Okay, then I'm wondering if that's why she's like so firm on this. Good to know. Good to know. What was the feeling that she was giving me? She was giving me something that looked like, I couldn't tell if it was an apron or a dress, but it was like a light colored, it could even be a nightgown kind of thing, but just a light color pink floral, like small flowers is kind of the visuals. It feels like a nightgown is the visuals that she's kind of giving me. But I thought it was an apron originally, so I was trying not to assume what it was, but just go with the visuals that she was giving me. Because it's like every time I'm hopping in, I'm getting busy floral patterns. I'm getting light colored pastel, busy floral prints, almost like Easter prints, Easter wallpapers, busy floral. So you'll totally have to tell me what that is. Oh. She was always around others who smoked. Oh, and she was always in the kitchen. That's interesting. Okay. See, I love that she's giving us that clarity. That's awesome. She hated smoke when she was around smokers. She really must have hated it because that was the first thing, and then she said it twice. So I'm like, okay, darling. There we go. Oh, bye, Sandrine. Thanks so much for kicking in. She wore that pattern. Oh, okay. She wore that pattern, a light robe, when you took her to hospice or to the hospital. Aww. Gotcha. What else? I think you had a question originally for it. Let me go back. I have any messages for you or her daughter. Got it. Messages. You know, the funny thing was that right when I said messages kind of like in my head, the first thing that showed up was like learn to cook. But I'm like, well, that was rude. But I'm wondering if there might be actually something to that. If she liked to cook, then I could totally see what she would be like. You need to learn to cook. Hi, Nakiba. Let's see what else is here. The feeling that I'm getting is helping you and your daughter, or you helping your daughter becoming self-sufficient, self-reliant is the better word. Um, hmm. Because I feel like maybe even in both of you, there's an element of needing others or needing a person or needing something that I feel like she wished that you could be a little bit more self-reliant about and not necessarily need someone to XYZ. Uh, that makes sense for your daughter. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's see. You said that your mom hated smoke. She's bringing up someone smoking in the car. And just kind of that feeling like, I really wish you didn't do that. And again, it's just that concern, that trying to take care of yourself kind of thing. Do you have anything you wanted to know? Um, she's giving me visuals or like thoughts surrounding awareness of the job that you did in taking care of her. So I'm wondering if you or anybody in the family happens to hold like some question marks, like, did they know? Does she know? It's a very much like, yeah, it was always the awareness. And she's giving me like messages of like, you did the best you could kind of thing. So just, I'm wondering if you or your daughter or anybody's holding like a little bit of guilt with what's gone on with her, and if there needs to be some massaging of like, you know what, you did exactly what you knew how to do with exactly what you had to operate with. So there's no sense in beating yourself up over wishing you could have done more, if that makes sense. Anything else, Miss Betty? I'm wondering if your daughter, because she's kind of bringing my attention to the younger of the two of you, if your daughter ever wonders why she doesn't have her whole life figured out as of yet. There's an element like that she's wanting me to tack on to that, being that you're not supposed to yet. And so it's okay that you're not supposed to, because it wouldn't be fun. Life wouldn't be as fun if you had it all figured out when you're in your 20s, for instance. Hell, it's not. There she goes. It's not fun when you've had it all figured out in your 60s either. Oh, okay. Constant guilt that you didn't do enough. She was very firm, but it was very matter of fact. Like, you did exactly what you knew how to do with exactly what you had. So no need to have any guilt. It's like, you can't, can you look at a tree and watch it experience guilt because it didn't grow tall enough? No. So there's no sense in you holding any sort of guilt either, because she doesn't have any resentments. So there's no reason for you to either. Because I feel like the thing that she's reminding me is having more fun. And so like the giggling, the laughter, it's like, it feels like she would love for you guys to have more fun, or figure out ways to have fun, figure out ways to laugh. She showed up with somebody having a drink, so it's like, have a drink, have fun, enjoy yourself. Kind of feel. Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right, Miss Betty, anything else you want to share? She's giving me visuals about being two peas in a pod. And always hanging out with you. So I'm wondering if either she always hung out with you, or y'all, like, I don't know the nature of the relationship. And if you were here, then right, Lori, you can't do more than what you're able to do. Absolutely. She's always around. So she feels like she's always around. And she's bringing up pictures. So pictures being out. she's bringing up a picture of her in a red dress. If she has a picture of her in a red dress or something like that, she'd much rather be seen in that. Another visual or another like little bit that she's giving me is the holding on to stuff that's not really important anymore. So stuff is just stuff. Her stuff is just stuff. So unless that stuff brings somebody joy in keeping it, there's no need to just hold on to it because it was mom's stuff kind of thing. You were constantly together. Oh, and she worked for you. Sweet. Oh, let's see. Is there anything else? She's pulling me back into the kitchen. I'm trying to figure out like what it is that, because it feels like cooking. Like, does she have like a recipe or a dish or a thing that was like her favorite that she used to cook for everybody? Because like the feeling is like bringing that into cooking this year. If you're like cooking for the family, like pull in mom's dishes, if that makes sense. Or literally her dishes. Like if you literally have her china or something, like pull those in, like incorporate her into the festivities. And then she gave me something along the lines of like talking about it more. So whenever it is that you guys kind of not talk about, talking about it more is the feeling that she gave. Let's see. Anything else, Miss Betty? So we're gonna have to get going here in a moment, you guys. We're gonna. No, she feels like she's kind of like, no, we're good. Kind of just like, that's fine. So I feel like she's pulling back a little bit now that, like, yeah, I'm gonna have to, like, yeah. I'm always going to her recipes and I give her, oh, and I have her dishes that remind me of her when I'm cooking. There you go. Pull her dishes out. Use them. Use them. Definitely incorporate them this holiday. Because I feel like that's kind of like her contribution to Christmas, and she can't give anybody gifts per se. She'll like, here's the gift of food on my plates. And stuff like that. All right, you all. I am going to go ahead and wrap it up. I do need to get prepared for another client session. So you guys have been super sweet. I definitely enjoyed reading for you all today. What did you think of this session, Disco? I know some of you have been here the whole time. Thank you so much. Love you to bits and pieces. But totally, let me know your thoughts. What did you think? Laura, what did you think of your read? You enjoyed it, Kara? I love that. I love that. I love knowing what you guys enjoyed. So if you liked the snarky behavior of one of our pull-ins or whatever happened, totally let me know. Because I love kind of knowing what you guys are interested in, what you guys liked about the session, what I can do more of, because that just makes it so much more fun and chewy, doesn't it? I'm just saying. Oh, you're very welcome, Adeline. You guys are cool. You loved your reading. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. Well, I loved having you. I loved having you. So I will make sure that we're scheduling for next week so that we can take care of some of these questions like Mr. Mack here. I'm glad that you love the sessions. Thank you so much for visiting. You guys have a great weekend. I plan to be reading for you all here again soon. You guys, okay, good. Let me get out of here so that I don't keep just gushing and getting all blushy. All right, sweet souls. Y'all take care, okay?